you should expect to outgrow your vision. There's no reason why the vision you had at 20 would still make sense for you at 30 or 40. But so often we can have these things that we wanted for so long since we were kids. The idea that we would be an entrepreneur, the idea that we would build some, big business and sell it one day and make a shit ton of money. The idea that we would write a book. The idea that we would be, the recognized leader awarded for, whatever in our industry, in our area of expertise. Corner office CEO. Like there are certain things that formulate in our heads so early that it kind of sticks with us in this way that we don't even question it. We just chase it. But then you get there and you're kind of like, wait, what? Why did I want this again? That's it? Either because it doesn't satisfy what you thought it would give you, what you thought you would experience, or it isn't at all what you wanted. So often when I've worked with people to clarify their vision, it's usually because they're at this crossroad where they're just like, the life I have, the life I've built, the life I've worked so fucking hard for, whether it's getting to the top of a company, whether it's building our own company, whether it's achieving some grand dream, they're at a loss after the fact because so often we set objectives that are very oriented around an outcome. It looks like this. I've made this amount. I win this award. I become this person. But that doesn't give us a lot of understanding of what we want to experience from it. Why do you want the corner office? What does $10 million do for you? What does winning the award say about you? How are you going to feel? Why do you want the perfect marriage and the, big house and 2-car garage? What will it give you? And often when we set these really specific outcome goals, these outcome-driven visions, it's really easy for us to outgrow them when we get there. A thing that I feel like the experience that we've seen over and over and over, or the story that we've heard over and over and over, is of people who've made a shit ton of money and then are like, it wasn't the money. Because of course it wasn't the money. No kid knows what they want to do with like $10 million. They just want to buy a ton of shit. But like, what do you want to experience? Because you're not on this planet to own a ton of shit. Or just travel and have luxury vacations. You can do those things. But what does it mean to you? And there's so many people who've made a lot of money because they grew up without anything or so little that money was such a pain point in their lives that they basically wanted to feel safe. They wanted to feel financially secure. They wanted to feel like money would never be a problem because money was a problem for so much of their lives. That they couldn't have basic experiences. That they questioned whether food would be on the table. And so then you strive because you're like, money will solve everything. But what is the problem you're trying to solve? Is it insecurity? Is it the fear of being homeless? Is it the fear of, or the pain of seeing everyone around you, maybe your classmates and your friends, getting things that seemed awesome? Whether or not you even wanted them, but they would get lots of Christmas presents. They would go on all these trips with their families. They would eat these elaborate meals. And you didn't get to experience that? That you were always told, no, we can't have that. We don't have enough money. Like that's the underlying experience. That's the actual experience that we want to have. But if we don't understand what quality of life we are after, if you don't understand what you want to live, you can achieve all the things in the world and still feel deeply empty. Outgrowing our vision often isn't just because we've matured and gotten older and the thing we want no longer fits. That's part of it. But outgrowing our vision often also comes with outgrowing an identity, an understanding of ourselves. Because the person within us that wanted X number of dollars, $10 million, $50 million, thinking that would solve our lives, solve our problems, you've outgrown that person. Because you get there and you realize it's not enough. Or it's not about the money. I don't mean the money. It's not that you need more money and the money is not enough. It's that it's not enough for you to feel whole. It's not enough to solve the emptiness that you felt within that you thought money would fill. Or the house, or the partner, or the body shape. Whatever thing that we thought would solve our problems usually won't, because we don't fully understand the problem. And the thing that I work with people to clarify in terms of their new vision for their life, for their work, for their business, for their impact, is, what do you want to experience? When you see your life in the future, the grand vision that you imagine, how are you living? How are you connecting with other people? How are you treating the people in your life? How are you spending your time? What are you experiencing on a daily basis? How are you interacting with your world? What are you creating with your hands and your skills? Those are the kinds of things that inform the grand vision that I help people design. I used to do this for big companies, big brand visions, big grand missions, multi-billion-dollar companies of what they want to build towards. And honestly, it's just not as interesting as doing this for people. Because people are real. The stuff of people's dreams is raw and beautiful and vulnerable and human. Building products in big companies is interesting. But my superpowers and my skill set are far more suited to help humans build their grand visions. I just find humans to be a far more interesting subject. And it's far more meaningful because I get to connect with other human beings rather than dollars and bottom lines and hard products and services. Building your grand vision is an opportunity for you to reimagine possibility for yourself, for the life you can live, for the work you want to do, for the impact you want to have. And often I am most excited for people when they realize they have outgrown the vision that they had for their lives, when they've outgrown the identity that has gotten them to where they are today. Because that means they are open for something new to come in, open to what could be possible for them, open to dreaming again. And I don't discount how difficult the experience is of losing sense that your past vision, identity is still valuable to you. There's grief in that, and there's a loss in that. There's confusion in that. But it's time for it to close, for it to come to its end. And you can honor it for what it was, honor it for all the things it gave you, honor it for the journey and the experience that you were able to have as a result. Celebrate the good things. Thank yourself for getting you to that point. But you're ready for something far more aligned, far more meaningful to you, and ideally far more impactful for others. And the point at which you recognize you've outgrown the vision, the identity, the life, it's the opportunity to welcome in a new adventure. One that you get to define entirely on your own terms. And if you do it in a way that allows you to focus on the experience you want to have, the quality of life you want to live, you will come up with a vision that is so much more beautiful, so much more fitting for you. And the way that I do that with people is to get at the heart of who you are, so that what you get to bring into your new vision is not just the aspirations that you have, the things you want to achieve, what you want to experience. It's that all of those things are rooted in the truth of who you are. It's grounded in yourself, in your superpowers, in your purpose, in your being. That the vision you come up with starts with alignment. It starts from the foundation of you. And if that's something you would like help with, I would love to help.